Hey mamas, Jessica here, and I am standing in my bathroom because I have 2 seconds to tell you something very quickly. I had just shared this in an article in a mom's directory, and I wanted to share it with you too because I think it's important. So a lot of moms, like if you have been wanting to work from home, work for yourself, or exploring ways to earn money from home, a lot of moms, you may be talking yourself out of it because a lot of moms do that. And I mean, I know I had experienced my doubts and things like that. But I wanted to share with you just a very specific fear that, some people have, some moms have. And it's that they think that if they choose to freelance or start their business, that it's not as secure as their 9-to-5 job. And I just wanted to share with you just a brief experience of like what I went through. So I was a sales rep many years ago, and I had the opportunity for this job to get this new position. And I had to move my family 5 hours away for the job. And it was great. I was excited for the opportunity. I thought I was making a really good, shift for my family for financial, stability and upgrade and like, promotional status and stuff for like myself. So I felt like really on top of the world. And anyways, it started off positive. But then a year and a half in, I got a phone call or a notification on my phone as I was out and about middle of the day on a Friday, saying, hey, we're going to have a mandatory mandatory meeting that we have to be there, company-wide meeting. And we're like, okay, this is random. So I left job sites and went home. So that way, by the time the call was I think it was like at 2 or 3, in the afternoon, I could be home and like present and like listen to it and stuff. So I had just pulled up into my driveway and I had, I was listening, and just within seconds, the, higher up head honcho, whatever, got on the call, and he was very monotone, very direct, and his a very different demeanor than I've ever heard him speak in before. And it was just, you could tell he was reading from a script. And long story short, it couldn't have been lasted more than 3 minutes on the call. It was a very short, like, hey, we are going to be letting people go and you'll find out on Monday if you still have a job or not. And it was like, what a way to start my weekend. So my point is after experiencing something like that, a company-wide layoff, and it being so sudden, I realized like I wanted something that was more, I was in control of, and that 9-to-5 life that everybody says is so secure isn't so secure. And I wanted to have more control over not just when I worked, but how much I worked and what the type of work that I did and how much I made and all of the things. And so thankfully, years later, I found freelancing. So if you are stuck on that, I just want you to take that with a grain of salt. It is not secure. Nothing is promised in this world. However, I have found that in my experience with freelancing that I have more flexibility. I have more freedom. And I have used it as a side hustle, as a part-time, as a full-time. I replaced my full-time income. I have shifted and adapted throughout. And anytime that I've ever needed to like really like, if you've ever experienced I need some money fast or anything like that. Not saying it's a get rich scheme. It's not. But I'm just saying that I had the ability to go out, find a client and land the client. And so I wouldn't have been able to do that if I needed to work more hours at a full-time, corporate job. I would have had to approve, in certain situations, I would have had to get approval. And a lot of times they'd say no because they didn't want to pay overtime or whatever. My point is the security. I feel more secure as a freelancer than I ever had in a 9-to-5. So if you're wondering about, like, if you're done talking yourself out of it and all that stuff, but you're still like, I have no idea what I want to do, check out the description of this video where I give you my free guide with 5 freelancing ideas that are perfect for moms like you that require 0 to little experience. I lay it out all there, so grab the guide, and I look forward to hearing what you do in your journey.